Welcome back, Goobers, to another epic Midas Makes Games video. So you clicked on the video, so I assume you kind of know what this is about, but I was a participant in the 2025 GMTK, that stands for Game Maker's Toolkit, Game Jam. Oh, but Midas, I'm a stupid baby, and I don't know what a game jam is. Well, one, don't talk to yourself that way, and two, I'll explain it to you. So basically a game jam, put simply, a game jam is an event that game developers host for other game developers to make games in a short amount of time, typically with a theme. Oh, but Midas, I'm a stupid baby, and I should stop doing the stupid baby bit. Also, usually, it's not a lot of time. This one was 4 days, so, gotta work fast. How did me, a shitty developer, get invited to join a game jam team? Well, I have a friend, Oliver, who I'm working with on other projects, and he has a friend named Will, who is a programmer. And Oliver was like, hey, Midas, wanna do this game jam with me? And I went, yeah, okay. And that's how I joined the team. So here's the thing. Mark Brown is an evil man and started the game jam. Theme is revealed, right? Doesn't get revealed ahead of time. Theme's revealed at 10 a.m. So I had to get up at 8 a.m. to get to school. I don't want to make games when I'm up at 8. Ugh, God, fuck. Anyway, I get to school early. The other two shuffle in. We're sitting there. Anticipation. We're holding each other's hands. It's gonna be okay as the countdown starts. Theme's about to be revealed. Now here's the thing. I did research because that's kind of my thing. I like researching stuff. And so I looked into, what could possibly be the theme? Last year was built to scale. Before that, it was roles reversed. I was like, okay, so Game Maker's Toolkit likes to do short phrases as themes. Well, guess what this year's was? You can find it out, it's public information. In fact, if you clicked on this video, you probably know about the GMTK Game Jam and know that it was loop. That wasn't a phrase, that's just a word. What? Why would you spite me specifically by changing up the pattern? They knew I looked into it and had expectations. Loop had a lot of stuff that we could make from it, and so we started our brainstorm. I'm not an artist. Probably won't be. Neither is Will. Actually, Will's kind of good at art, but he's not an artist. And then neither is Oliver. So we didn't have anyone to do art. And the thing is about game jams that don't have art is that they don't do well. So our initial goal was we should do a game that's all UI. Because me and Oliver have a lot of experience with UI based stuff. That didn't work out. We were blessed with an idea so goated that 4 other people did it in the game jam. I mean, not as good as we did it, but Will was kind of oh, hey guys, what if we did a game about a snake eating its own tail?
What if we did a sort of meditative kind of zen type of game where you're kind of like a snake or something, and you just are sort of moving around a space, and every time you touch your own tail, it does something, it scores everything inside you.
Okay.
And then Oliver went that sounds like the Ouroboros. And then Will went what if we make it he went what if we make it Kamagashi? Fuck, what is the name of that game? Ball roll game. Katamari Damacy. He's what if we make it Katamari Damacy? And I was I don't speak German. And I was have you ever heard of Tasty Blue? And he went, no. But you know what? We figured it out. So here's our concept. You play as an Ouroboros that circles objects, eats his own tail, and then when you do, everything inside your body gets crushed, and that adds to your length until you're big enough to eat an entire medieval city. We have this kind of potion craft, storybook aesthetic so that we could have less art debt that we would need to deal with. And then here's a little treat. In addition, we're gonna put in a bomb-ass narrative. So that's first hour down the drain, all right? Was just brainstorming. Then we had to get to work. I was like, I'll do the dialogue system. And then Will was like, I've made a snake before. I'm going to make a really good snake. Because here's the thing. The boring baby bitch bad developer way to make a snake is to have each segment just follow along where the tail went. And he was like, that's dumb. What if they kind of like, when you move, the tail like drags along the ground, and so it like, it feels like it's constricting objects. It's so good. He did such a good job on it. And then Oliver was like, I'm gonna make the loop, when you close the loop, feel really good. And he did. It feels fucking awesome. And then I was like, I'm gonna do the dialogue system because that was my idea, and also I'm gonna write all the dialogue anyway. This is my official soft launch of my career as a narrative designer. I guess it's a hard launch if I tell you. And that was most of day one. Is we kind of got the basic mechanics working. Boom! 5 big booms. Boom, 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 boom. We go home. Next day, we make a little bit of the level. We improve the snake a little bit. Next day, I make even more of the level. We improve the snake a lot bit. We make our art look better. We're so locked in. And then we get hit with the biggest punch in the face. Let me get on my knees so I'm on your level. Let me explain something to you. So on itch.io, that's where the game jam is held, the best thing that you can do is have a web GL build. A web build allows the game to be played on the browser. Any other build, it requires someone to download your game. And when you're talking about wanting success in a game jam, no one's gonna wanna fucking download your game. I actually have no idea how good your game would have to be compared to everyone else's game to like have a download only game be any sort of successful. That's fine. Unity has built-in WebGL support. Easy peasy, right? So we make a Windows build just to test it for ourselves, and it's fine. And then we make a web build on the 3rd day, and when you fucking close around an item, your snake gets all up on it, and then nothing happens. Core mechanic of our game didn't work on only WebGL. I don't even know. I don't even know what I would do about that. Look at this. Look how stressed out I was. That grease on my hair was not there an hour earlier. That's how stressful this was. And so boom, so we were like, we're cooked, we're fucked. We all went to bed and we're like, we're fucked. It's Soj over. And then Oliver found the problem. See, the way that we detect if an object is in the snake is we shoot, every single object shoots a raycast up. And then if it hits the snake an odd number of times, it knows that it's inside the snake. And if it hits it an even number of times, it's outside the snake. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see how that works? It's kind of hard to wrap your head around, but like it works. It's good math. And the way that Will implemented that math, I don't even know. I don't think Oliver knows. He's the one who fixed the problem. But like Will implemented it to C like instead of C sharp like. And for some reason, I guess Unity cut that code when it was importing to WebGL, because to import to WebGL, because it's a browser game, you need to like really crunch the game down. So literally all Oliver had to do was just redo the math in basically the exact same result, but just like in a different way, and then it worked. Crisis averted, I guess. So then I did a bunch of crazy awesome bullshit, made our whole level, wrote a bunch of cool narrative shit, and then we were ready to ship the game. We were up at 7 a.m. Oliver had fallen asleep a few hours earlier. Me and Will were grinding out the last few like little polished details. Like I made a 3D model in Blender of the background so it looks like you're on paper, and all that fucking bullshit just to make it seem a little more cool. And then we're ready to submit, and we look at it and we're like, oh, dude, we can't submit this fucking game. Oliver needs to submit this game. Are we gonna miss the deadline because Oliver fell asleep? And as we say that, Oliver wakes up. He doesn't, apparently, he like barely remembers this. He just submitted the game and then fell back asleep. I don't know if it was some crazy stroke of luck, but I don't know, it just worked. Okay. But it's like, Midas, you're talking about this game jam, you're talking about like all the stuff you did, but like, was it successful? I actually have no idea if it's successful. That's not what this video is about, okay? You see, I'm recording this video like 2 days before the submissions close, and then it's usually at least a few more days until any winners are actually decided. But that's not what this is about. You want to know about the success? We have, hold on. I'm checking. Check it. itch.io. 54. We have 54 reviews, and all of them are super, super positive. So I have no idea. I think we're over the minimum to like not be punished for having low amounts of ratings. And if people really like the game, maybe we'll place. But that's not the point, because that's all up to luck. Here's the thing. I understand that I come off as a super suave, handsome, kind of badass, cool guy look. You know, I seem tough. Like I have this tough guy kind of look to me, you know? But like but in reality, just to burst your bubble, fangirls, I'm actually like a loser. So I'm going to explain to you guys the little lessons I learned, the information. This is an educational video. So what did I take away? 3 big lessons. 1, good mindset. I think we did so well because we had a really, like, we were kind of in this thing of like, we're going to build the simple thing first, like the really basic system, and then we're going to make it we're going to make it more complex. We're going to give it more depth. We got the simple thing done, and then you know what? That was good. Like, if I'm going to make another game jam, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have the simplest concept. One mechanic. Good core mechanic. Something simple to build. Something easy to understand. Nothing complex. And then I'm just going to make a bunch of content for that mechanic. I don't have the time to worry about multiple mechanics. I don't have the time to worry about proper tutorialization. If the player can't understand it with one sentence of dialogue that's like, press this button, you're fucked, buddy. Because like people are playing hundreds of game jams, maybe. Like they don't got time to probably not. That is a lot. Well, 9,000 game jam submission. 9,000 games were submitted. There's 130,000 ratings. Are some of you guys playing thousands of game jam games? Anyway, people are playing a bunch of game jam games. They don't have time to they don't care, and they don't want to take time to learn your controls. Make something simple and just do it really well. That's the game jam that wins. Okay, lesson number two. And now this was a big one. So one of the categories of the GMTK game jam was narrative, right? And we didn't know this because we didn't check for some reason, but I still wanted to do a narrative anyway, even though I'm not really typically the person you'd think of as like a narrative guy, like narrative game guy. I don't know. Look at all of these like positive things that people have to say. A lot of it's about the narrative. People really, really liked the narrative of our game more than like anything else. And maybe it's because it's a requirement, but to be honest, if I was to make another game jam game, I'd go exactly the same way. Make something meaningful, and it doesn't have to be complex. I literally just have text show up on screen every once in a while when you eat certain things or reach a certain milestone. That was like an hour of work for me to set up, and then like 3 hours of work for me to like write all the dialogue. But I think it's huge. I think we would get next to none of the same level of praise that we're currently getting if we didn't have that kind of. Third lesson. And this is a lesson that's not just game jam specific. This is something I learned to do all the time. Always test your builds. In a game jam, do it every day. In your personal projects, also do it every day that you're working on it. Always test your builds, because it wasn't just us that had this like build issue that could have caused like a ton of chaos. I saw a bunch of game jam games where the builds were just submitted wrong. Like some people uploaded their whole Unity project. Like some people just uploaded like a useless file. Like check your builds, make sure they run. Make sure that nothing that you implemented that day broke anything. Like, I cannot stress how important this was to us, because it really could have fucked us. If Oliver hadn't figured that shit out, like, I would not have. Maybe Will would have. I don't know. But like I wouldn't have. Like we would have not submitted a game check. That because we cut it the day before we had to submit. If we got it day one, because it was an issue from day one, if we got it day one, I might have been able to fix that. But I could not do it in a day. So, you know, if you're not like the GOAT of Unity or like whatever game engine you're using, yeah, test your builds every day. Okay, educational time is over. I'm putting you back down. I'm concluding the video now. This was fun. I enjoyed game jams a lot. That was really cool, and I'll probably do it again. For now, go to the link in the description and play The Tale of King Boris of Oris. It's a good game. I spent a lot of time working on it, and if you don't, it's gonna really hurt my feelings. Please. Also, like and subscribe, I guess, if you want to, or whatever. You know, it's not like I... Anyway, see you, goobers. Fuck you.